Yo, what's up, Gen Nation? ScytheX here with another video, not gaming related. I am dipping into the entertainment world because I feel like it needs to be done. There's a lot of haters out there. That are just not giving it a shot or just watching the movie with blinders on. And I just have to say it's ridiculous. And the movie was fantastic. I'm going to get into it. It's 4 hours long. This video will not be 4 hours long. I will try to make it as short as possible. I'll probably be jumping all over the place as thoughts come back into my mind as I'm talking about things. Warning, this is a spoiler video. I will be talking about the Snyder Cut 4 hour long movie, full spoiler review. So warning, if you haven't seen the Snyder Cut yet, make sure you come back and visit us soon and watch the review afterwards, because I don't want you being spoiled. The movie is great, in my opinion. And yeah, with that being said, spoilers are on. This is officially the ScytheX Cut. I am putting my foot down, and I'm saying that Zack Snyder, you deserve a round of applause. So here you go. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Zack. You gave me what I wanted in this movie. You gave me what I wanted in this movie. You gave it to me. Let's talk about the length. It's 4 hours long. I was not bored for 4 straight hours. I was not bored. Beginning to end, I was not bored. It was an awesome experience. And for a movie that you know the majority of the plot, you know the majority of what's happening, and you know a lot of the scenes, this 4 hour Zack Snyder cut was a thing of beauty in my opinion. He lowered he got rid of the color. He went back to his style. He made it dark and gritty. He had some flair of comedy, specifically with Barry Allen, because Barry Allen needs to be comical, apparently. So it had a little bit of comedy, but it wasn't like, well, insert comedic pun here and joke here and meh. Like, it wasn't like that. It was in the right spots. It didn't feel forced or weird or anything like that. I'm probably going to roll the trailer a couple times as I'm talking, just to give you some visual. The movie did not feel long. It just didn't feel long. Those 4 hours flew by. They flew by. And for that, Zack Snyder, I thank you for giving me a 4-hour experience on comic book characters that, quite frankly, were not boring in the movie. I'm not a Cyborg fan. I'm not an Aquaman fan. I'm a Flash fan. I'm a Batman fan. I'm not a Superman fan. Wonder Woman's, she's cool. With all that being said, and those are like personally, like I'm a Batman and Flash fan. Superman is boring to me in the comics. I didn't really follow Cyborg's story too much. Wonder Woman, and outside the cartoons, I didn't really follow her story too much. So the coolest Superman story was the death of Superman. That was the biggest story, and I remember, I probably still have it. The comic book came in a black sleeve that just had the Superman logo on it. It was a major event. Superman died. He died. The god is dead. It was cool. So that was a fun, read comic book wise. And it was nice to see the black suit in this movie. But with all that being said, my point is, Zack Snyder did a great job making me care about the other characters that I didn't know I care about. Cyborg, let me tell you, this movie could have been a 4-hour Cyborg movie. There was so much cut out of the original film, and quite frankly, like, fuck you, Joss Whedon. How do you cut all this footage of Ray Fisher as Cyborg? It was incredible. It was so character development of a superhero that was never introduced into the movie world. You barely saw him in the cartoons. He was such a cool character to learn about in this film. I am actually, when you hear all the shit that Ray Fisher went through with Joss Whedon and WB, it's not just an actor, like a disgruntled actor being, vindictive or whatever. WB and Joss Whedon, they fucking screwed him, bro. They screwed him. He had so much in this movie that they reduced him to like a booyah or whatever the fuck they did in the original movie. Like they reduced him. They stripped his whole scenes. They just stripped it away from the original movie. The shit about his dad, him hating his dad and nothing to do with his dad, for his dad to have the ultimate sacrifice into the mother box, and all of a sudden, like, you see the emotion, like, it was, because Cyborg was just no emotion, a blank sheet. But when it involved his dad, he either hated him or he loved him. And honestly, it was such a cool character development. seeing him as a kid playing football, and just the whole backstory to Cyborg and how important he was to this whole like vision, to this whole movie. He had to inject himself into the mother boxes and rip them apart from the inside out. Like, this was a whole Cyborg based movie, and everything else happened around him. Like, this was a Cyborg movie, and for Joss Whedon to strip it all away and give him pointless fucking scenes that don't really mean shit, like, Joss Whedon should never touch a superhero movie ever again. He should not touch a superhero movie ever again. He had a solid Avengers film, but I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt there because it was new and exciting. We've never seen the Avengers on screen before. He had full reign for Age of Ultron, and that's the worst Avengers movie ever made. Ever made. We have 4 Avengers movies now. We have 20-something Marvel movies. Joss Whedon's Age of Ultron is bottom 5 movies made in the MCU. Number 4 of the 4 Avengers. His original Avengers is number 3 on the list. And then you have the Russo brothers in Endgame and Infinity War. Not sure of the order. It doesn't matter. They're top 2. They're top 2. Joss Whedon fucked up Avengers. He fucked up Justice League. And for the people out there going, you know, oh, Josh was given a bad hand. No, he wasn't. He was not given, you know, he wasn't thrown into the fire. He created the fire. He was meddling in the background with the WB executives, changing Zack Snyder's movie while Zack Snyder was still working on it. This movie was doomed to fail from the start. And when Zack Snyder lost his daughter and just got fucking fed up with everything, rightfully so, he weaseled his way into that movie. He tried to come in like the knight in shining armor, like, don't worry, Justice League is saved, I'm here, I will complete this movie. No, nobody. You put a time bomb in the movie in the background before all this even started. You fucked the movie from the inside out. And it's ironic. It really is, because you screwed Ray Fisher out of awesome scenes, and Cyborg defeats the mother box from the inside out. You destroyed the Justice League from the inside out. You took Cyborg's tactics to fuck this movie up while removing Cyborg at the same time. So, Joss Whedon, go fuck yourself. And let's get into this Snyder Cut. Let's dive deep even more. So Cyborg was super dope. I loved everything about his character development. I'm not going to continue on with him. We're going to jump to the next character. And let's talk about Batman. Batfleck. Batfleck returns. And I'm going to jump to the end of the movie real quick. When Martian Manhunter comes. By the way, since he's only in 2 scenes, Martian Manhunter looked fucking dope. He looked perfect. Perfect actor playing Hank Henshaw. I believe that's what they're calling him, Hank Henshaw. Because that was his, that's his alter ego in the human form. He looked badass. He looked so good. And it's funny because he's in the original movie as Martha, but we don't get to see that in the original movie. So it was super cool to be able to see Martian Manhunter. You know, he didn't have a big role. It was more of like, hey, I'm here. Shit's coming. And you know, it was a teaser for movies that we might not even get down the road. But it was cool to see. He looked great. But when he came to visit Bruce Wayne, you could tell it was the reshoot that he did, because Ben Affleck looked skinny as shit, man. He was not jacked anymore. This is, 5 years away from Batman training. Because he hung up the cape and called it quits with all the WB bullshit, screwing him out of his own movie and whatnot. He stopped training to be Batman. And, he lost the muscle, and it is what it is. That's how it goes. That's why Chris Evans quit. He's tired of keeping up the Captain America body type, And he just looked so skinny. He looked so skinny. But you know what? He was still Bruce Wayne, man. He still pulled off Bruce Wayne. I still believed it. I still think Batfleck is one of the best. Honestly, he's as Batman. He's so fucking ruthless. So ruthless. You saw it in BVS, and BVS, the director's cut or ultimate cut, whatever you want to call it. It was a little bit better than the theatrical BVS, but it's still not a great movie. And, that was Zack Snyder's movie, and I'm giving him all this praise, but it wasn't a great movie. However, Batman was great in that movie. Batman was so fucking ruthless and badass. It was everything I wanted to see Batman. Not cookie cutter martial arts, whatever. Like, I want ruthless. Like, he's just an angry vigilante wanting to hurt people. Like, I loved it. I fucking loved it. And he continued it in Justice League. He just had more ability to work with people, other superheroes. He had his, little one-liners, hints of comedy to the other characters when he meets Barry Allen, and speaking of, a scene that was in the original movie was cut from the Snyder movie, and the scene was probably a Joss Whedon reshoot or a rewrite. And it was actually a good scene, and it was kind of funny, and it probably could have been used in the Snyder Cut, but because it was a Joss thing, Snyder probably was like, fuck no, I'm not, anything this dude did to my movie, I'm not adding. Which I completely understand, but I did miss it, and what I'm referring to is Aquaman sitting on Wonder Woman's lasso, and like pouring his heart out to Wonder Woman and Batman, and just like showing how vulnerable he is. And it was just so out of character and funny, and you're like, what is happening? And then you just see him like pull up the lasso of truth. So that scene was kind of missed, but I understand why it wasn't there. With that being said, Batfleck interactions with the other characters was just fun. It was Bruce Wayne, it was Batman. It worked. It fucking worked for me, man. It just works for me. Will Robert Pattinson be good Batman? I mean, maybe. it looked cool in the trailer, like the one scene where he just laces a dude and beats his fucking face in. Like, yeah, I want that ruthlessness, but I'm sad it's not Ben Affleck, man. He did so well. He did so well. I don't really agree with the suit design, but the actor selection I thought was perfect. Because and it's so gratifying because he fooled me. Like, I'm like, Ben Affleck is Batman. I'm like, this is fucking stupid. This is stupid. It worked, man. It worked. He did a fantastic job as Bruce Wayne. He was believable. I believed him as the angry old man Bruce Wayne. Like, just pissed off. I believed him as Batman. Branding people. Ruthless. Like, I'm just here to hurt you before you hurt someone else. It was awesome. So shout out to Batfleck. I truly wish one day that you come back and you give us a little more Batman flair. Truly do. With that, let's jump to Wonder Woman. There was a lot of scenes cut with Wonder Woman in the beginning. I watched a side-by-side video of Wonder Woman saving the kids in that building. I forget the building. And it was, you know, her busting through the door. And the Whedon movie had her bust through, you know, a couple bullet deflections, and she threw the bomb out. Like, it was such a quick scene just to, like, show Wonder Woman on screen before the team up. In the Snyder Cut, it was so, like, stretched out, and you got to see her fucking power, man. Sliding in there, like, quick movements, like bang, 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 from enemy to enemy to enemy to enemy, bullet deflection, you know, guys shooting them AR-15 or whatever at the kids, and like she's just like bang, 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 bang. Like, it was just so cool. The whole thing was cool. They did an awesome job showing her strength, her power in that scene. It was just so fucking cool. It was so cool. Her interactions with Cyborg, it was similar in the OG, but I feel like it was more of and this could be just a foggy memory because I haven't seen the OG one in a while. I only, you know, whatever. But I feel like that scene was too quick of them meeting each other. I don't remember seeing Cyborg fly in. I just kind of seen it. I feel like he was just lurking. Like, the lights go out and he just kind of appears. I thought it was a cool touch to have the lights go out and him fly in. And also with Cyborg, and here's a thing to go off on another thing. There was an actress who made it in the original. She filmed the original movie with Snyder before Joss took over, and Joss cut her out because he cut all Cyborg scenes out. And, you know, rightfully so, she was upset about it because her scenes were cut. You know, it's whatever. Her scenes were cut. She, you know, wanted to be in the movie. It's a cool project to work on, and for you to like work on it and devote your time to have it just be nothing and not shown and nobody gets to see your work. It's disheartening. I get it. But nobody knew about it, you know, because it wasn't shown. And what we saw in this movie, you see Cyborg have like a heart and see this woman struggling. I'm assuming a single mom struggling to pay rent and whatnot. And he, you know, hacks the ATM and transfers $100,000 to her account. And you see her have like this cool moment with her kid, and like you just see like the weight lifted off her shoulders. It was a cool scene. It was a cool scene, and it showed Cyborg's humanity rather than him being so, you know, blank, no emotion robot. And the actress tweets out, "Does anyone know if my scene made it into the movie? I haven't seen the movie yet, and I'm curious if it's in there." And she got blown up on Twitter, on social media, like, "Oh, your scene's in there, Cyborg, blah 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 blah," and everyone's praising her. You know, it was a cool, like, warm moment that, you know, her work was finally shown. So, not to drag it out, it was a cool story that this actress finally had her, you know, finally had her time, and her work was shown because Zack Snyder didn't cut out Cyborg. And it was just a cool moment to see her get her recognition. So moving back to Wonder Woman, she was just badass, man. Her fighting Steppenwolf one-on-one, that was way longer of a scene on the, you know, the bridge and other areas of the fortress, his, you know, Steppenwolf's fortress. It was just longer scenes of her fighting him, and it was cool. It didn't seem short. Like, the OG was like, "Oh, Wonder Woman swings sword," and Steppenwolf punches, and like, boom, done, scene, next character. Like, it was so fucking rushed. It was annoying. This was Wonder Woman did her thing in this movie, and it was awesome. Let's get to Superman. Some people do not like Man of Steel, the movie. I say, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. The movie was badass. It turned boring ass Kal-El, boring ass Superman, boring ass Clark Kent. It turned him into, in my opinion, I don't want to say a likable character because, you know, it's Superman, everybody likes him. Boring. It turned him into a non-boring character, and it just showed him being badass and vulnerable, and it was just such a well-made movie. It wasn't the best movie. Nobody's claiming it to be the best movie. I'm claiming it to be the best Superman movie. I thought it was awesome. It turned a boring superhero who could never die and do everything, and meh, like, it turned him, and Henry Cavill does a fantastic job. Like, the movie was cool. So I like this Superman. I like this version of Superman, this Snyder, you know, interpretation of Superman. And seeing like all the shit that the team had to go through to bring him back to life, more drawn out and like in the best way, was cool. And like, they bring Superman's body to Star Labs. You know, they bring him to Star Labs. They bring him to the ship or whatever where Doomsday was made, because Star Labs is, you know, working on it and studying the alien tech and whatever. And shout out to Star Labs for making the movie. I don't think it was in the original. And you know, Star Labs, if you watch the TV show Flash, Star Labs is the home base of the Flash. Now, I don't think they're going to go that route movie-wise. It remains to be seen. They have Ryan, I think it was Ryan Choi running it. His nanotech division. Which was cool. But, you know, Star Labs is where Cyborg's dad was running the show. Where he's studying, you know, the mother box and everything. So, and that's where he took his life, essentially. It was in Star Labs. But when they brought the body to Star Labs and they had the alarm of, you know, alien DNA found, evacuate, blah, 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 blah. He's like, it's a false alarm. There's nothing here, but, and then he looks over and he sees his son with the team. And he's like, never mind, get everybody out of here. Like, he knew what was up. He was like, get everybody out of here. We need to work on this stuff. And it was just super cool to see them go into it. For him to back them up, you know, and trust his son. And like, to bring Superman back, it was such a cool thing. He comes back and he's so angry. He's so out of it. You know, the Flash, it was cool to, I don't know if this was in the original movie, when Flash is running full speed at the mother box. Did it show him reversing time a little bit in the original movie? I don't know. Put that in the comments if you will. But in this version, it shows him running and you see the box in the water, the mother box in the water, and then reverse time and go out of the water. And then he comes in and touches it, you know, and Superman comes back. I thought that was a neat, cool, a neat scene to see. Like, you get a sense of Flash's, you know, time manipulation, time travel. So back to Superman, when he comes back to life and he's, you know, out of it, he doesn't remember shit and he's just angry. The scene of him fighting the heroes was so much better in this version than the original. It's so aggravating to think of. Like, him fighting Wonder Woman and Aquaman, like, and they're holding him back and he's just beating the piss out of him, and you know, he's holding him back again, and you see Flash running, and you know, like this, I mean, this scene was in the original. I'm glad Jocelyn fucked that up because it was a cool scene, but it wasn't as long as it should have been. And when you see the Flash running in his, you know, in his speed, and Superman just, you see his eyes turn and he just looks, that is like a bone-chilling moment. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the fastest fucking thing in this world, and this man can see me moving this quickly. Like, that's gotta be so terrifying. He just looks over with that stare like, yeah, I see you, bitch, and just goes after him, man. Full Superman speed going after him. And you could tell Flash is a little bit quicker because he's not getting hit for the most part. But they were going like speed for speed, and it was such a cool scene. It was such a cool scene, man. And shout out to Marvel, by the way, because in this, you know, scene when Flash is getting, you know, punched and blah blah blah, you see all the names of the victims from BVS, and Man of Steel. You know, all the shit that happened in Metropolis and whatever. And you see all the, the victims on the, the monument. They had Ben Parker in there. Good old Uncle Ben, Spider-Man. So shout out to Marvel and Spider-Man. And maybe that's a little Easter egg to Kevin Feige, like, yo, come get me and let me direct some of these Marvel movies. Like, I think he could do some cool shit with darker characters in Marvel. I think it would be a fun twist to change the game. Not have him take over, but have him have his slice of pie in the Marvel universe. I think would be fun. But I digress. Superman fighting Flash, speed punch. It was just awesome. The whole thing was awesome. And then you see Batman. The military starts shooting at him, and he laser beam blows up the Humvees, and you see Batman emerge from the back because he was hiding, because he knows he would trigger Superman. And he gets the Marine to safety or whatever, and he just sees him, and you see, like, he sees red and just starts fucking shooting him with the laser beam. And Batman's new technology for his suit was able to withstand the heat of Superman's blast, which was cool. And then Lois Lane comes in, talks him down, and they fly away together, which didn't really change. But it was such a cooler scene this way than the way we got it before. The whole Flash sequence was dope. And just seeing Superman come back, it was just cool. It was cool. That whole him being angry and fighting her, it was just cool. So I said before, I'm a Flash fan. And the reason I'm a Flash fan, honestly, is because the CW TV show. I always thought the Flash was pretty cool, but when you're younger, you're like, yeah, he's fast, cool. But he's not Batman, he's not like the badass. He's just fast. The TV show, I grew an appreciation for the Flash because the character's well written and the enemies are well written, like Reverse Flash and stuff like that. Like, they can flesh out a lot of stories, and it's very cool to see in live action. And let me tell you, Grant Gustin plays a phenomenal Flash, a phenomenal Barry Allen. It's believable. I believe him as Barry Allen. He's not like gung-ho jokes. He's more grounded, like more scientific minded, not jokey joke. Yeah, he has his, comedic moments, obviously, but it's not like he's a babbling idiot like they make in this movie. And this goes for Joss and Snyder. I don't know if I said it before, like I absolutely loved this movie, the Snyder Cut, but there's still problems with it. It's not a perfect movie. And the biggest issue I have, I don't even know if it was Zack Snyder's doing or WB's doing. The casting for the Flash was just so bad. Ezra Miller is a terrible Flash, and that doesn't change in the Snyder Cut. Doesn't change, man. It just extends his shittiness. Now, I'm saying that as, the actor was bad. Him as Barry Allen, jokey joke Barry Allen, bumbling idiot Barry Allen. And let me add creepy Barry Allen. You have Iris West, who they don't name her, but everyone knows it's Iris West. She's getting ejected from her car from being hit by a truck. And creepy Barry Allen brushes her hair in flash speed. Like, and then grabs a hot dog, and you're like, where the fuck is this scene going? Where is this going? It was very, very creepy. With that being said, Ezra Miller is just, man. There's times where I'm like, okay, not bad. When he's trying to not be funny, it worked better. When he was like stumbling on his words, and like when he sees Wonder Woman, he goes, "Hey Barry, I'm Diana," and he goes, "That's not right." That seemed like a forced Barry Allen joke that just didn't need to be there. And it's probably his delivery. I just don't think Ezra Miller is good. And honestly, it fucking scares me that we have an extremely important movie coming out in the DC world. And that's Flashpoint. I truly believe Flash needs his standalone movie and have it Easter egg and lead into Flashpoint in a future film, and not dive right into Flashpoint, because Ezra Miller is not a good Barry Allen so far and not a good Flash so far, and it kind of scares me that he's gonna have Flashpoint. He's gonna be doing Flashpoint in his movie. It's such an important movie to the DC universe, creating alternate timelines and all kinds of time travel and multiverse. It all generates from this Flashpoint. The DC world shifts. It splinters and shifts and things change. I'm super scared for Ezra Miller doing this, because I don't believe he's a good Flash. He's not a good Barry Allen, and I don't like him, man. I hate to say it, I just don't like him as this character. And even with that, I could still say the Flash had awesome moments in this movie, even with Ezra Miller doing it. You got to see more of his speed. You see, like, when they're at the fortress and you see him running fast in a circle, and you see that light like zip, and you know the parademons are trying to snipe him. Which, how fucking fast do these parademons like see? The Flash gets sniped. The Flash gets sniped. It's running at full speed, but you saw him running fast in circles to generate, full velocity. Him fighting Superman, the quick movements. Him fighting Steppenwolf, or the parademons actually. Just like when all the parademons, attacked them. I forget what scene that was, but you saw, everyone kind of fighting them, and Barry and the Flash standing there like, what do I do? And you just see him like flash, zip, 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 like out of the way. It was cool. It was well done. One of my favorite moments, and it might even be more, because I left that movie thinking my favorite moment was the Flash bringing, time traveling back to save everyone. I think my favorite part, now that I'm thinking about it, was seeing the silhouette of the Flash when he was saving those people from the debris falling. Just him zipping like it was like a storm cloud of, you know, thunder and lightning surrounding these people as he's ripping people out of there, and you just see him in a flash, pun intended, in a flash. You just see bang. It was like he was running in strobe light, like it was such a cool badass scene, man. It was so fucking dope. It was so dope. That's probably my favorite Flash scene in the movie. However, the ending was also good. Ah, man, it was great. It was great. The ending was great. The Flash, you know, having to restart his run from getting sniped somehow. You see his speed healing kick in and him kick into overdrive on his run. He was going so fucking fast, running in circles. He found a new speed that he found briefly when he saved Superman, brought him back to life. He reversed time for the split second. It's against his rule to manipulate time. He saw the end of the world and his friends dying. Like, well, he saw the explosion, and you know, shit was dying around him and disappearing. And you just see him kicking the overdrive, and you kind of see like he entered the Speed Force, it seemed like. And you just see him fucking run. Another complaint, the way Ezra Miller runs as the Flash, like he's just throwing his arms, is so fucking weird to me. That's not a natural run. It makes no sense. And you're gonna like, I feel like you're losing speed while flailing your arms around like a fucking idiot. Whatever, he runs like an idiot. But when he was running to back to the tower in full speed, and you see him enter the Speed Force basically, and all of a sudden like time starts reversing, and as he's running, the ground is filling in front of him as every step he takes, and you just see like Superman like pieces all come back together, like he was being undusted, you know, from like a Thanos snap. It was just like, it was such a cool scene, man. It just shows how fucking powerful and fast the Flash is. And to have him be this bumbling idiot Ezra Miller aggravates the shit out of me. But he had awesome moments in this movie. I can't take that away from him. And it was more of his abilities rather having the awesome moments than the actor having awesome moments. You know what I mean? Another pet peeve about the Flash. Can he have yellow lightning, please? Like, he has the yellow lightning bolt for a reason on his costume. The dude runs. Every speedster has their own color. It differentiates what speedster is running. You know what I mean? Like, the Flash isn't white. The Flash doesn't have a white Speed Force connection. It's yellow. He runs yellow. I don't know, man. Or RNG. Because Reverse Flash is red. Wally West is also yellow, but like a brighter yellow, I guess. Give the Flash a color, man. Just having white lightning, it didn't feel right. You know, it didn't feel right. The scenes were badass of what he was doing. If the silhouette strobe light thing was in a dark yellow cloud and you saw his red silhouette, you know, costume flashing in strobes like that, that would have been badass. Him fighting Superman, seeing the yellow lightning like zipping, like it would have changed the whole experience of the Flash in this movie. It really would have. He again had his moments, but there's so much more that could have been done to make the Flash even like more badass and cool in this movie, just by a simple color change. Like I said, his lightning bolts on his costume is, you know, a yellow, a gold. Give him that speed. Give him that speed lightning, man. Make him that color. But yeah, they didn't do that. Zack Snyder didn't do it. Joss didn't do it. They kept the white lightning. I hated it, but his abilities were still cool in the movie, so I can't take that away from them. Aquaman, we got a little more out of Aquaman. Him saying no to Batman, and he was, I don't know, man. It was kind of, it was cool to see the Atlantis struggle with Steppenwolf, and him going down there and seeing, you know, William Dafoe's character, and seeing Amber Heard, and you kind of see them make that connection before the Aquaman, because this takes place before the Aquaman movie. You see them meet each other for the first time, fighting Steppenwolf basically, and it was cool. It was cool. And he told, you know, Batman no, and now that shit's hitting the fan, he's like, all right, I guess I gotta help him, and that's when he saves them in the tunnel. He, you know, he didn't change. He had more scenes and, you know, underwater stuff, but for the most part, I feel like Aquaman didn't change as much, and he wasn't really the issue in the original movie. He was just still cool, man. He just did his thing. There was more, like I said, there was more Atlantis stuff, like underwater stuff. And it wasn't, you know, a parademon attacking the boat. It was Aquaman saving the boat from sinking in a storm. Like, it was just, you got more cool stuff from him. It wasn't like, and because the movie takes place before Aquaman, it's a little more backstory-ish of what he's doing in the world before joining the, you know, Justice League. And then they dive, you know, more into it in the Aquaman movie, but it was more fleshed out. Like, again, Zack Snyder did a great job, you know, going through each character and letting them have their day. In like the first hour and a half was just, here's you know, here's Wonder Woman. This is what Wonder Woman's doing. This is what Cyborg is doing. This is what the Flash is doing. You know, everyone had their, you know, their character development time, and it worked, and it was good. It just, the movie didn't feel boring at all. Like, even with the shitty Flash, it was still not boring. It was just not as enjoyable if Grant Gustin was doing it. I don't know if Grant Gustin can translate to a movie actor, but he would be a phenomenal Flash. He knows the character. I think he would slide into a great job. But the Flash still had cool moments. Aquaman had dope moments. Wonder Woman had her time. Like, she had crazy, like, her fighting, just quickness and bam, bam, bam. Like, it was just awesome. Superman finally, when he goes to Smallville, or to the farm, Kent Farms. I don't think it's confirmed to be Smallville in the movie, but you know, Lois helps him, you know, regain himself, essentially, and sees his mom and stuff, and he's like, they brought me back for a reason. I need to find out why. That, I don't think that was in the original. It was more like, you know, I'm back, I'm hugging you, oh hey ma, and then he's gone. He's like, I gotta go. I feel like that dialogue didn't exist in OG. So it was cool for him to be like, I just fought the fuck out of these dudes. They brought me back to life. There must have been a really big reason for this. Let me go find out why. And you see him fly. He goes to his ship, to the ship, and you see all the suits come out, recognize, you know, Kryptonians on board, or, you know, the bells and whistles start going. All the suits come out. You see the red, you know, the standard Superman suit, red cape and everything. And he's just looking at one, and you're like, ah, this is it. Because we know from the trailers, he gets the black, you know, the black suit, whatever. And it looked so good, man. The silver S on his chest, the black cape, the black, you know, suit. Oh, it was fucking perfect, man. His suit was perfect. Henry Cavill crushes it as Superman again. He's so believable. He's so believable as Superman. I just love this version. Love the version of the Superman. And I'm kind of sad because I feel like he's done. You know, Batfleck said he's done. We have this bullshit Flash. Drives me crazy. I'm going to get into the DCEU when we wrap this whole thing up. Oh, when Darkseid, we didn't even talk about him yet. Darkseid finally shows up in a metallic form with the monolith. You know, they put the mother boxes to unify. Darkseid, he looks badass, you know, and you get to see his backstory of when he came to Earth and he lost to men, Amazonians, and Atlanteans. You see fucking Zeus and was it Ares? Fucking lightning bolt shooting. Oh, that whole scene with Darkseid was so fucking badass. It was so cool, man. Seeing everybody fighting. And by the way, the Amazonians defending the mother box from Steppenwolf was such a badass scene. It was one of my favorite scenes of the movie. It was so badass. I forget what she says, but she's like something like, show him your fear. He's like, we don't have fear. And they're all firing and fight. Like, it was so dope. It was so dope. And, you know, on the horsebacks, and you see Steppenwolf just grabbed like the lasso and just rip the horse and throws the horse with them on it. Like, it was such a cool fucking scene. I feel like we didn't get any of that. We got some of it, but it was so cool in this scene, in this movie. And then, you know, them shooting the arrow and, you know, sending a signal to Diana. It was just super cool. But seeing the Amazonians fight Darkseid was awesome. And when they all fought together and they defeat Darkseid, he retreats because he gets, you know, severely injured. But you see a Green Lantern. I'm not saying you see the Green Lantern that we all, you know and love, but you see a Green Lantern because it's back in the day. And he looked fucking cool, man. And he was doing his thing, fighting Darkseid, and so you had the Lantern representative there. And they cut his hand off, and you just see the ring leave the hand that was cut off, flying around and just shoot up into the sky. And as we know, it was going to find the next lantern worthy of wearing the ring. But it was cool to see him in the movie, a lantern in the movie fighting Darkseid, nonetheless. And when Darkseid, who looked awesome and he sounded good, and by the way, the voice of Steppenwolf was way better. The voice of Darkseid was cool. And again, with the color palette of the movie, it wasn't bright colors, like the bright Superman suit, bright blue and red, and everything being bright color. Bleh. He marvelized it in like the worst way. I loved it being so dull and dark. Fit perfect, well done. I loved it. But I told you my thoughts are gonna be jumbled as I'm going through it. Darkseid, again, he looked awesome. And when you see him retreat and then Steppenwolf tell him, I found the anti-life equation. It's here on Earth. This is the one that got away, And then you see Darkseid join and like come through the monolith. Like, are you sure this is the one? I've been looking for like 100,000 worlds or whatever he said. Like, I've been looking for this. It's been so long. And he must have forgotten where he was when he got fucked up from the defenders of Earth. He must have forgotten, I guess, where he was. You would think you would remember Earth. Maybe, I don't know. But when he realizes Steppenwolf is trying to conquer the world that Darkseid failed, it was a cool moment to see, like you need to finish what I couldn't type of thing. Like, and if Steppenwolf completed the mission, his debt would have been wiped clean. His 50,000 world debt would be wiped clean. But it was cool to see Darkseid in this movie, and it wasn't like he was the big bad. It was Steppenwolf. It was still Steppenwolf being the main villain. And what a cool fucking scene when they finally kill Steppenwolf, and you see Diana. Like, every one of them has their final hit, Superman's final punch, or Aquaman final stab with the trident. They're throwing them to back to Darkseid. Diana gets one more sword and slices his fucking head off. And he just lands at Darkseid's feet. The head lands at Darkseid's feet. The body just kind of just plops into the portal. And he just steps on his head like he meant nothing. It was such a cool scene. And, he goes, ready the fleet. We're going to do this in like the old ways. Like, we're just going to invade and do our thing. And he's going to attack. That left in the cliffhanger of Darkseid's coming with an army. They're going to attack. And again, we didn't get to see Green Lantern. WB actually told Zack Snyder, because Zack Snyder wanted to use Jon Stewart in the movie. WB told him he's not allowed to use Jon Stewart in the Snyder Cut, because WB has plans for Jon Stewart specifically. He's coming to HBO Max in a Green Lantern TV series, kind of like the Falcon Winter Soldier, I guess, style. I'm really WB, like, go fuck yourself if you don't make Jon Stewart Diggle. You made Jon Stewart, you made Diggle a Green Lantern at the end of Arrow. His name was John, Stewart in other timelines or whatever. Like, honor that, please. Honor that. The DCEU is canon to the TV universe because of the TV universe's crisis. You saw Grant Gustin and Ezra Miller face to face. You saw them face to face. Those two Flashes exist in the DCEU. The TV showed you that. The TV show showed you that. So if that is true, if Ezra Miller lives in the TV world, that means Grant Gustin lives in the movie world. We could have multiple Flashes in Flashpoint. We don't know what we're going to see in Flashpoint. However, what also is true means that whole Arrowverse of Diggle becoming a Green Lantern, getting the ring at the end of Arrow, spoiler alert, and them announcing at the end of, or when Arrow was ending, them announcing a brand new Green Lantern TV show featuring Jon Stewart. You think it's going to be Diggle, and you hope it's Diggle because he was such a champion of the DC world for so long with Arrow, and he's built to be Jon Stewart. He would crush it as Jon Stewart, man. He would do such a good job. And I truly hope WB doesn't fuck that up, and they get him. They get him. Let's wrap this video up because it's getting long. So yeah, no Jon Stewart in this movie. WB said no to Snyder because they got something going on. So that's why we didn't see him. We got Martian Manhunter in some reshoots. Oh, and to close the movie, here's another problem I have with the movie. I don't have a problem with Jared Leto, the way he looked as the Joker. I had a problem with that whole scene even taking place as like a nightmare. It just felt out of place. Like they just threw it in there. Didn't seem like it belonged, honestly. It was still cool to see. Like you see, Deathstroke. Deathstroke looked awesome. And you see, he's getting hired by Lex Luthor, who escapes jail because he always escapes. So that kind of like Lex Luthor is back in the world. That could have springboarded Man of Steel 2, but we don't know what's happening there. And you have Deathstroke going after Batman because he knows he's Bruce Wayne. That would have been in the Batman movie, probably. Like so many things of the Snyderverse could have happened. And can you think of a badass movie of Deathstroke versus Batman? Like, come the fuck on. Give me that shit. There's a hashtag going around calling for the hashtag restore the Snyderverse, and I agree. Restore it. Give Zack Snyder what he wants. I want Man of Steel 2 with Henry Cavill. I want Batfleck back and have him fight Deathstroke. We still have the same Wonder Woman. We still have the same Aquaman. The garbage Flash, but whatever. Cyborg's probably not coming back. He'll be replaced probably by the Green Lantern. Because Ray Fisher, unless they recast Cyborg, Ray Fisher's done. He hates WB for what they did to him, and he hates Joss Whedon for what he did to him. I guess there was like racist stuff going on and all kinds of stuff. So I don't think he's ever coming back. But maybe if Snyder's back on board, the others can come back, and who knows? Maybe they talk him into who knows? Who knows? What I do know is I'm on board for the Snyderverse to continue. The DCEU would be in a better place if the Snyderverse continues, whether you like it or not. you can still have different timeline characters do their own thing, but for the main universe, these characters need to still be here, in my opinion. And I hope we get that chance now that we see the success of the Snyder Cut. WB likes money, or not, because they make dumb decisions, but companies like money. They'll probably be begging him to come back, in my opinion. So we'll have to see. But this movie had so many badass moments. It was not boring. All 4 hours. Every character had their day, had their time to shine. The villains were cool. Steppenwolf looked great. Darkseid looked great. Martian Manhunter looked great. The ending with the Joker, the dialogue between him and Batman. I liked Batman going like, make no mistake, I'll fucking kill you. Like, I love that. I love that. Him saying that to the Joker. Jared Leto, I think he did a good job in the dialogue. And I liked the way he looked way better. But again, it's a nightmare scenario. James Gunn is rebooting Suicide Squad, so the old Suicide Squad is probably not canon anymore. I don't know how that's gonna work. I don't know. This is the problem with WB. They're so fucking jumbled. They don't know what they're doing. They stripped apart a movie universe that characters liked, that people liked, of characters that people liked. We want to see these stories. Me personally, I want to see these stories continue and like build and keep building to something. Like Marvel showed you the way. Do it, man. Now I have a new Batman doing God knows what against the Hush Riddler, not the comic-y Riddler. We have Flash fucking up the timeline, because that's what the Flash does in the next movie. But we have this, who knows how that's going to be. We don't know who Jon Stewart's going to be, or how he fits into the movie verse, or is he just a separate side piece for TV, HBO. We got Aquaman and Wonder Woman. Where do they lie? Are they joining a new Justice League with new Batman and Superman, or are we just recasting and keeping him in the Snyderverse that he started, and then just changing it and blaming it on Flashpoint? Because Flashpoint can change everything. And if that's the case, if we're this, okay, Flashpoint, if you want to truly reboot this universe, you can Flashpoint it, start it over, say, this is your Batman now, this is your Superman now, unless he wants to come back. I truly hope they do. You still have Aquaman, you still have Wonder Woman. They could be themselves in a new universe. It's just we know as fans they would be a different version of themselves, but it would still them, you know what I mean? You can have a new Cyborg actor, because Flashpoint. You can blame everything on Flashpoint. It's the easiest out in comics. This story sucks. Flashpoint it. Bang, gone. They can reboot the whole universe, and it's probably easier to do that. Maybe Flashpoint will erase Ezra Miller somehow. But what I would like to see is these characters come back and just kind of build off of what they started. I like the vision of Snyder. in my opinion. I think he did a great job. There's so many fucking haters out there about Zack Snyder because of Batman vs Superman, and you know, like, yeah, it wasn't a great movie. I get it. It still had very cool parts to it. Man of Steel is probably, in my opinion, the best Superman movie. And his Justice League that just came out, 4 fucking hours long. Every minute was awesome. It had something cool. It had something cool. It was just, I enjoy his vision, man. I enjoy the vision. The storytelling. I truly, the Snyder Cut was, like I said, everything I wanted it to be. It had its faults. It's not a perfect movie. If I'm going to give it a ranking, the original Justice League was a fucking 2. And the 2 is because some of the parts were cool. Some of the parts were superhero-y that we want to see. Overall, the movie was dog shit. Complete dog shit. The worst. And it's funny because a lot of people hate Suicide Squad. And I get it, you know. Not the greatest movie. But I went into the Suicide Squad knowing that it wasn't going to be a great movie. It was just going to be a shoot 'em up. You know, like, it was just a shoot 'em up. Here's these broken ass characters, throw them together, and they're just going to be in a shoot 'em up. And I understood that, and I enjoyed the movie in the sense of, like, it was just fun to watch. It was just fun to watch Will Smith as a Deadshot, like, just shooting people and deadly accurate. Flame, I forget the character's name, man. This video is going too long. I'm rambling. I enjoyed Suicide Squad for what it was. I know it's not a good movie, but I still enjoyed myself. Justice League original was absolutely garbage. Worse than Suicide Squad. Because it was meant to be such a big movie. And it was short. It was terrible. And it's a 2. Snyder Cut. 4 hours long. I could give a ranking for each hour and they would all be a 7 to 8 rank for each hour. So I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10. It was an awesome 4-hour experience. It had its faults. That's why it's not a perfect movie. But for 4 straight hours, I was not bored. And I think that's it. I don't know what else I could say to it. For the haters out there who hating on Zack Snyder and his vision in this movie. I mean, I got people yelling at me, talking shit about the Snyder Cut who hasn't even seen the fucking movie yet. Like, calm down, watch the movie, then you'll get it. You will get it. This has so many cool superhero moments. It's worth the watch for that alone. For that alone. This might be the last time you see these characters, these actors as these characters. Which is sad because, like I said, Superman and Batman, I truly enjoy, and everybody else. I think they'll be back, but besides Ray Fisher. But again, them all together, this is probably the last time. Unless WB figures out how to bring Zack Snyder back in some capacity. That's it. I don't know what else to say. I can keep talking and rambling about DC and Zack Snyder and hating on Joss, but I don't want this video to be too long. So in the comments, let me know what you think of the Snyder Cut. And let me know what you think of the ScytheX Cut. And I'm calling it that because it's me in the entertainment world taking over. Spartacus, move over, buddy. I'm taking over. ScytheX Cut. Let me know what you guys thought of it. And yeah. That's it, man. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to comment on the video. Let me know what you thought. And of course, smash that follow button. Every follow helps, or the sub button, sorry. Smash that subscribe button. Every subscription helps the channel grow. We got big things coming. The network's officially launching relatively soon. We have a tournament in the works. I just pumped out a gaming update for the news that came out recently, and Spartacus is doing his thing, giving you entertainment videos, and he's probably going to give his thoughts. He's definitely going to give his thoughts on the Snyder Cut. I feel like that's going to come Tuesday. He's keeping his thoughts away from me, and it's the reason why. It's the reason why you got the ScytheX Cut, because I want my opinion out there. I want it out there. So let me know what you think. I appreciate you watching. And with that being said, GG Zack Snyder. Well done. I'm glad you're able to complete your vision for your daughter, and I'll see you guys out there, man. Take care.